Greetings, traveller. I am the Batman from the Project Umbrella podcast. A few of us have been speaking on there about branching off into various other things, such as streaming and YouTube playthroughs of the various games. It's something people have asked us to do as well. I must admit, it's not really my sort of thing. I've never tried anything like this before. I know Star's Tyrant has just completed a playthrough of the Resident Evil 4 HD project, which is well worth a watch. And I know Neptune is doing a small video on Confidential Reports as well, his favourite game in the entire series. I've decided to choose Resident Evil Revelations, which I think fans agree is probably the most complicated game in the series in terms of its story. It's very hit and miss with whether people like it or not. And the idea behind these videos is to go through the game from the beginning and sort of break down all the major plot points as we go through it. It's purely experimental. I don't know if I'll go through the whole thing. But, you know, even if this video just gets 10 views and someone watches it and learns a bit more about the game and therefore enjoys the game a lot more, then, you know, it's worth doing. So let's get started. This is the PS4 version of the game. It came out sometime last year. I've only gone through it once, so the controls might be a bit rusty, so you might just have to bear with it while I get used to it again. I forgot, of course, about all these loading screens that take forever. So here we have Jill's new Samurai Edge A1. This new weapon was designed by Quint after he preached the need for the newly established BSAA to carry more specialised firearms, specifically to deal with BOW related situations. He used the original Samurai Edge designed by Joe Kendo as a base and crafted a replacement model based on the newer Beretta. Jill was later given the gun because she had allowed Quint to study her original customised Samurai Edge when he was designing its successor. And of course, customised anti-BOW firearms will later become a big thing with the emergence of Umbrella PMC and the Albert Wesker model weapons series.
Let's find a boarding point.
So majority of this game takes place on the Queen Zenobia, which is where we are now. This ship was originally constructed in 1978 and was based off designs left behind by George Trevor before his disappearance in 1967. It was one of 3 ships alongside the Queen Semiramis and Queen Dido. It was due to be scrapped in the late 1980s but was purchased by the Paraguas line, which is a subsidiary of Umbrella Corporation, with Paraguas being Spanish for umbrella. Apologies if I butchered the pronunciation.
It's been 94 minutes since Chris and Jessica dropped off the radar.
But the interpolation from their last known coordinates puts them
right here on this ship.
So after Umbrella got hold of them, each ship was outfitted with new facilities and new technology, including laboratories in the lower decks, which were sealed off from the public and allowed them to carry out secret research away from the mainland.
I don't like the sound of that.
That's a theme we've seen before with Resident Evil Dead Aim, of course. So as I mentioned before, this is the PS4 version, and I have to admit, I was amazed by how well this game upscaled from the original 3DS.
Crew's dead. What did this to them?
These guys remind me of the original remake zombies, given their similar clothing.
Ugh, it smells like rotting flesh.
They also appeared in the original teaser for this game on the 3DS, which also had a doppelganger of Chris and Hunk running around the ship. And zombies don't feature at all in the final game, of course.
no signs of life, but I feel like something's here.
Hey,
What happened?
I don't think we're alone.
That glimpse we got there is of an ooze.
That doesn't look like just water.
An ooze is a consequence of a human being affected with the T-Abyss virus, which is the main viral strain used in this game. They have the appearance of like a bloated, drowned corpse. And as you can see there, they use the ventilation system to move around the ship. I'll explain more about the ooze later on.
There's blood coming from the ducts.
It's quite a creepy start, really. I remember when this game first came out, there was a lot being said about it returning to proper survival horror. After the action fest that was Resident Evil 5. And of course, straight away we're getting locked doors and multiple routes to go through, which is nice.
It's not working.
So the crew are all dead, of course, and what we're actually experiencing here is the second of two outbreaks. The first outbreak actually happened a year earlier chronologically after the Terra Grigia panic in 2004, when Morgan Lansdale, head of the FBC, betrayed Veltro and killed them all by releasing the virus simultaneously across all three ships. Once the incident was over, Lansdale and his researchers seized the ships, took them out to sea, and used them as controlled infection environments to study the virus and generate a vaccine. Once that vaccine was created, Lansdale double-crossed his own men and killed them all and seized the vaccine. This was to keep his own involvement in the production of the virus and its vaccine a secret, because he is the leader of one of the world's largest leading domestic anti-bioterror agencies.
Ugh, the face is smashed in completely. Parker, give me a hand here.
Sure, no problem.
This is the Genesis scanner, which is a new toy exclusively for this game. Again, it was designed by Quint and approved by the Global Pharmaceutical Consortium, and it's just a way for us to find extra weapons and ammunition hidden throughout the game. Personally, I don't like it because I think it detracts from the horror. You know, you're trying to take in the atmosphere of the game in these creepy environments, and then you're suddenly going around scanning plant pots for ammunition. It just takes you out of the experience a little bit. I don't necessarily like it.
So, it's not Chris.
So here we get our first proper enemy in the game. I must admit the U's do look a lot better in the PS4, a lot more sinewy. You can see a lot more detail than you could in the 3DS version. I'll explain about the T-Abyss virus in a lot more detail, of course, but it's a very interesting virus.
This is not good. Where are you, Chris?
So there we have it then, just a very quick video just to sort of give you a flavour of what I'm intending to do. If you like it, let me know and I'll carry on and we'll go through the whole game. Cheers guys, thank you very much.